Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 17 of my favorite 30 guitar players of all time. We're doing this countdown each and every day here this month in September 2024. Today, for my pick number 17, a great one. He's no longer with us. Hasn't been for a long time. His career cut short due to a terrible tragedy back in the late 70s. And this is one of those guys, there's always that handful that died too young that you always think about. It's like, wow, what they could have done had they lived to build on what they already had accomplished at that point in time. So let me bring to the stage none other than Terry Kath, late great guitar player of Chicago, one of the unsung, underrated guitar heroes of all time, in my opinion. And, you have to think, like, if that fateful gun tragedy didn't happen, what would we have gotten from Terry Kath had he lived? Because, basically everything you read states that he was seriously thinking about leaving Chicago and going off and, maybe doing some solo stuff and whatnot, starting up a new band. Because I think by about that time, after a whole slew of albums released from the late 60s all the way to the end of the 70s, I think maybe his contributions and what he had accomplished in the band Chicago probably coming to an end, right? Because Chicago was moving towards poppier waters and a lot of that more experimental jazz rock stuff that they had done early on, which he really shined in. Maybe he was kind of getting squeezed out of that a little bit, but who knows? But what a legacy he left with the records that he had done with the band Chicago prior to that. And for everybody who, maybe is not really much of a Chicago fan, but all they really know are those big, huge 80s pop hits. Well, you're missing out on some terrific, adventurous, experimental, highly progressive pop, jazz, blues, and rock stuff on all those early Chicago albums. Just really great stuff. And even those had hits, some amazing deep cuts that just, the great horn arrangements and the just sensational guitar work of Terry Kath. Plus, vocally, you had like three guys singing, right? So you had all this great variety from the vocals and whatnot. So anyway, picking my three favorite albums featuring his guitar playing. This was kind of a no-brainer. This was one of the easiest ones I've had to do all month. But let's go all the way back to the beginning for the Chicago Transit Authority double album, right? Because my first two picks are both double albums. Who releases a double album as their debut album, right? Nobody. Chicago did. How about their second album? Double album. How about their third album? Double album. How about their fourth album? A quadruple or whatever it was, live album, right? Who does this? Nobody. Chicago had the balls to do that. If you want like the best example of everything that Terry Kath brought to the table from a guitar perspective, this is the one to get. There's just blazing guitar work on this album. Whether it be just, sensational solos that complement kind of all the horn arrangements and everything else, or big, meaty, riffy songs and just jazzy bouts of experimentation. This has got it all. I mean, from the opening blast of Introduction, right? That's just kind of cool, bluesy, funky, jazzy, really good, great guitar work on that. Then you got, does anybody really know what time it is? More of a pop tune, right? Then Beginnings, cool guitar, funky guitar riffing on that. Question 67 and 68, you got Listen, right? Very cool tune. Poem 58, amazing. Freeform guitar, that's just him doing all this crazy crap with his whammy bar and his Fender Stratocaster. South California Purples, that's really good, bluesy, lots of guitar on there. His amazing work in the cover of the Spencer Davis classic I'm a Man, great. Prologue, Someday, the ending, Liberation, just amazing stuff on here. Loads and loads and loads of Terry Kath guitar soloing and riffing and textures on there, very good. And plus, lead vocals as well. Got to also pick Chicago 2, right, as we now know it, because that was Chicago Transit Authority. That's self-titled. They changed the name to Chicago. They released this as just Chicago, but everybody calls this Chicago 2. All sorts of great stuff on here. Moving in the Road, Poem for the People, The Great in the Country, Wake Up Sunshine. Then, of course, the lengthy, sweet Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan, which has, of course, Make Me Smile and so many other kind of cool things. 25 or 6 to 4 is in there. That great wah-wah solo, right? Just so good. It Better End Soon, lengthy 20-minute movement. I mean, all sorts of great stuff in here. This is just a masterful, masterful album that kind of takes what they built on the Chicago Transit Authority album and then kind of really tightened everything up and worked with all these kind of like lengthy epic movements and things like that, multi-form suites and stuff. Just groundbreaking stuff, for 1970, right? Crazy. And then lastly, for my third pick, I'm going to go with Chicago 5. I was just cranking this in the car yesterday. This is a great album. Again, this is not a double album, but this is just where Chicago were at just a few short years later, with tighter songs, less kind of lengthier, long form improvisations and things, but still delivering just rock firepower, bits of blues, lots of jazz, and pop sensibility. And Kath is all over this album. Just killer guitar work. A hit by Varese, so good. Great keys and horns on these two as well. The Gorgeous All as well. Now That You're Gone, then you got Dialogue Part 1 and Part 2. Man, have the chords that he's playing, right? Just funky type, riffs and whatnot. Really good. While the City Sleeps, another good rocker. You got Saturday in the Park, the big hit off this album. The Great State of the Union, Goodbye, and then Alma Mater, right? And again, the great songwriting and from Kath, right? Because he's really good at writing ballads, as well as like more bluesy rockers. And that voice, man, just what a husky kind of bluesy, soulful voice. It kind of reminds me, that I always kind of linked the two of them together in a weird way. They don't sound like each other, but like Warren Haynes and Terry Kath. And you have to wonder if Terry Kath, because they both had that great soulful voice, great guitar playing. And you have to wonder like if Terry had kind of eventually moved on from Chicago to either start up a new band or a solo career. You have to wonder if it would have taken on a trajectory of kind of like what Warren Haynes did with like Government Mule and his solo stuff. Don't know. It's kind of those what if moments. But yeah, that is my last pick for albums. So again, we got the very first album, Chicago Transit Authority, the second album, Chicago 2, and Chicago 5. And as far as my pick for guitar solo, favorite guitar performance, again, another no-brainer. It's got to be Poem 58 from the Chicago Transit Authority album, which is just Herculean, molten guitar soloing, and Terry Kath at his unleashed savage best. I mean, it's just, if you've never heard Poem 58 from Chicago, you need to listen to it. If you are a guitar fan, if you love stuff from like Hendrix and Trower and Frank Marino and all the greats who just love doing this, just amazing stuff, lengthier guitar solos, just dripping with, fuzz and feedback and wah-wah and just throwing all sorts of licks and bends and things like that. That's just, man, Poem 58 is just absolutely savage. It's just amazing. And it's crazy when you think that a song like that is in the middle of the Chicago album, right? Because it's just a total rocker, and it just kicks off. He's got these great kind of chords in the beginning, and he launches into the solo, and it goes for like 2 minutes or so. It's just amazing. And then the rest of the band comes in, and it's a really good rocker going out. But amazing stuff. So check it out. So Poem 58 from this album, and then these three are my picks for Terry Kath. Let me bring him back to the stage. There he is once again. And yeah, there you have it. That's number 17. We'll see you tomorrow for number 16. I do want to thank everybody for your kind well wishes to my dad. I'm going to go see him in a little while, actually. So he's still recovering in the hospital, dealing with, bad bout of COVID, but every day, hopefully a little better, get him on the road to recovery. But it's like kind of sapped him of just everything. It's just, it's crazy how, COVID can really affect elder people who already have pre-existing conditions with other stuff, right? It's just crazy. So anyway, but thanks again. I very much appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. While I'm dealing with this, we'll try and get back to as much as regular programming as we possibly can over the next couple of days. Again, it's going to be kind of difficult going back and forth to see him, make sure, he's doing okay and mom's doing okay, that sort of thing. So we'll do the best we can. That's all you can do. But thanks. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Tune in to the review crew coming up tonight. Jamie Laszlo and company, bringing some more fun for you and lots of reviews of some new albums. And we'll see you tomorrow for ranking the albums of Warlord, along with Mr. John Gaffney from Lair of the Alchemist. He's going to be joining me for that. And we'll see you then, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.